Despite being at college as a full-time engineering student, I haven't stopped with my tech shenanigans. Though I have stopped posting content, so I have come to bring just that. I won't waste my time trying to tell you about why I haven't been able to upload. See the first line of the script for more details on that. Honestly, I'm just kind of copying the work, probably won't be helpful for studying. But as you know, I started a series, so to speak, a while ago with the game of flipping up to greatness. And it was going well for a while. I flipped and built some decent systems, but then I kind of just stopped. But after a while, I got back to it, and I made back some of the money that I had ended up just blowing on other projects. So, I'm going to give a recap of the machines that I built since that Lenovo desktop, and probably in a future video share where I'm at currently. I'm in my Forerunner right now because I'm about to go pick up a PC deal. I found a lot of 15 Dell Optiplex PCs on Facebook Marketplace, and the seller was originally asking for $275, but I got them to do $200. So I'm going to go get some money right now, go check it out, and see if this is worth it at all. So first of all, some way, somehow, I ended up with an unfunny amount of Optiplex desktops. 15 to be exact. Yeah. This is back when I had my Forerunner, so I had the luxury of purchasing larger items and larger quantities of items. There's another item I purchased later on, but I'll save that for a future video. So, I drove like 20 or 30 minutes down to Tulsa, and I met this guy, and he was offloading these computers that had been used in like a medical institution. They were all i3s and had no memory or RAM, but for 200 bucks, I saw the potential. He also threw in some OEM power supplies and a few random keyboards. I regretted taking the trash heap of power supplies pretty quickly, but I got rid of them eventually. Driving home with these computers was probably the second most sketchy thing I did in that SUV. My brakes were shot, and this side of town was notorious for being abundant in hills and such, but I got home safely and got some pretty swag pics. Unfortunately, I sat on and have been sitting on this computer pile for like over a year. I sold one tower to a friend of mine at school, but that's basically it. I've made so many other transactions for getting these computers completed, whether it be memory and CPUs or just entire other computers. I still have most of the memory I got from a lot of parts on Macari, but I sold 2 of the CPUs in that lot, and I used one of them in a computer you'll see later. So anyways, I had got these 2 cheapo PC cases from Newegg on Black Friday, and I forgot where this motherboard came from. I think I had it before the Dells in the lot, but anyways, I had a cheap Dell board and a 2400 in it, and I was like, let's make this happen. So I sourced some other parts. I think I already had RAM. I got a USB 3.0 card to add that, and I got this super cool kit that made the front panel connectors of the motherboard work with a standard case. I finished things off with a fan adapter, and I got rid of all of the error codes. The graphics card I ended up with was an R9 380 with high temps and loud fans that I fixed with a repaste and some other tweaking. I got this power supply from OfferUp, but the fan was broken, so I put my own fan in it. It was a pretty decent one too, but thankfully that dude that sold me the power supply sent me some money for a new fan, but nonetheless it ended up being too loud, so yeah, the power supply was a piece of junk to say the least. It honestly was not my highest moment, but anyway, I traded the power supply and some RAM for, guess what? A Nintendo Switch Lite. I don't know, like, just the random side things that I'd be trading. It was an interesting exchange for sure, but that's kind of irrelevant at this point. This computer doesn't have a power supply, so I bought another power supply, an EVGA 510BP, and oh yeah, storage. I had gotten some SSDs from a lot off of OfferUp. They were absolutely nothing special, but I used the weakest one in this freaking Dell of a build because it was a more budget-oriented system anyways, so yeah. And I think I just used some white label 1TB hard drive. Couldn't tell you the model off the top of my head, but I got it off of eBay for sure. Anyways, this is definitely one of the most finicky systems, but I did get everything running without any post-warning messages. It was great. It was decent in most games, didn't have too many lag spikes. Warzone was a bit of a harder game to run, but it still ran it and it was a very enjoyable experience. I listed it on Marketplace for way too much and sold it shortly after for way too much. Got 350 smackaroos in my wallet. So yeah, hopefully that wasn't too all over the place. So much happened and so much time has passed and I've only documented so much. So I'm kind of going solely off of memory at the moment and like purchase history and such. And I also don't want this video to be so long. So yeah, that's the Dell PC that wasn't a Dell. Oh boy, so we've got a little ways to go here, so get comfy and make sure you're subscribed. But on a serious note, this next PC was nothing very special. I don't really want to talk about it, but I'll narrate and give you context from what I can remember. So the retelling of the build process for a lot of these systems is kind of all over the place because these systems were built all over the place, and again, lack of content. So I had bought this absolute monster of a Dell PC. It was and is a Precision T5500 workstation, and the seller basically said that it was being sold for parts because it would hang on the boot screen. But with 72 gigs of RAM and dual Xeons, I just had to. So that computer is in my possession now. Just keep that in the back of your mind. This will kind of be important later. So that was before selling the last computer I was talking about, I'm pretty sure. But I kind of just slowed down on flipping. But at some point around Christmas of 2021, I got my hands on a Gateway desktop. I think like a DX4850. I got it off of someone I kind of knew actually, so that was cool. And I didn't pay fully in cash, if at all, either. I had bought an A320 motherboard way when I first started the whole computer flipping thing, and I had literally had like no use for it as I didn't have any DDR4 or any AM4 CPUs, so yeah, I got a PC out of it. So this wasn't a very impressive system. It had an i5-2300 CPU, 6 gigs of DDR3, a BOM, no storage, and some other quirky features. This computer had a multi-card reader up front, which is always nice to have, a hot swappable hard drive based standard, super swag, a spot in the back to route cables in, built in, so you could plug some stuff up to those USB ports in the back or something, built-in cable management, that is pretty cool. And it had some cool LED strips built into the case, which I thought was kind of cool. The Gateway logo was also illuminated. But anyways, I didn't do much to this system, just gave it some love and a few upgrades and part replacements. Well, I guess that last time it kind of just makes the one before it not valid, but no, I replaced the sorry excuse for a power supply with an EVGA 450W3 that I got from Best Buy, I'm pretty sure for like 20 bucks on sale or something. So yeah, got that bad boy installed and got rid of the OEM junk. Remember that Dell I admittedly impulsively bought? Well, that Dell came included with none other than a GTX 660. Yep, that's right, I didn't buy that Dell for the ECC server memory. No, I wanted that reference 660 with all the VRAM and all the CUDA cores. I wanted to get my hands on that cutting edge hardware. No. In all seriousness and respect to this, mind you, almost 11-year-old graphics card, the 660 isn't useless by any means. I mean, with the already low amount of RAM and pretty mediocre 2300 CPU, this PC would need a lot of upgrading to be able to handle a higher power graphics card anyway. So I threw in the 660 as I knew it would be able to play some lighter titles with no issues. After getting the graphics card hand washed and installed, I got a cheap SSD from Newegg, and I think I was lying about the system not having storage because I think it already had a 500GB hard drive in it. I could be wrong, but I don't recall purchasing a hard drive for that system. So I threw Windows onto it, tested some games, they ran fine, made sure everything works like the media card reader, and I took some epic pics once more. Listed it on Marketplace, and it was definitely a tough sell, but I did end up getting rid of it for a respectable $250. I give you guys more data on money spent and profit, but I'll be entirely honest with you. As a once broke high schooler and now broke college student, it wasn't uncommon for me to use the money from flipping for other things. At the point of the Gateway computer, there wasn't much from the previous system really, but I made it work nonetheless. In the next few computers that you'll see in future videos, hopefully soon, I'll try and give more info on how much I spent and the profit made. I did make a good profit on all of the systems I've built though, just so you guys know. Especially the Lenovo tower, that was probably the best flip. But yeah, that's some of the context of the computers I've built since forever ago. I'll be sharing the 2 most recent systems I've worked on soon enough. You should also hit that subscribe button soon enough. I think that works. Yeah, anyways guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Show some love by hitting that like button if you did. If there's any content that you would like to see sooner than later, I can't guarantee anything, but feel free to let me know in the comments section below so I can try and prioritize. While you're there, you should also consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure to have those post notifications on so you don't miss out. Anyways, I probably have some homework or something to be working on. I'm not doing test 6. So thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you guys later.